And hello and welcome to my addendum of Eador. Eador is, in fact, a 4X game. Explore, expand, extort, and exterminate. That is what 4X means. And if you're familiar with the genre, you know what that means. Civilization or Masters of Orion. Um, Eador kind of hides it for a while until you meet your first NPC opponent, Orner, and then you're scripted to meet Belith. You are scripted to meet these two individuals at certain points, and I did a lot of experimenting to find out when you might meet them, and I think it depends on how many shards. Like, if I click on this little Liscon tiny and I get all this good stuff and I click attack, like, if I do that, then a number of those later, here comes NPC 1, a number of those later, here comes NPC 2. Um, Other than that, there's another scripted series of events that happen if you never click on shards. For instance, I had a save file right after I left you last time, and I wanted to accumulate massive amounts of mana, which is this crap down here, astral energy. I wanted to accumulate a lot of that. And I said, well, wait turn, wait turn, wait turn, it keeps giving you more, based on how big your province is, how many shards you've assimilated. And as I was waiting turn, I realized there was no consequence, so I kept doing that. And after, I don't know, 80 of those, I had amassed about 1,500 astral energy. But my little imp gremlin little fucker over here, this little guy right here, gremlin, he procked up and said, bad news! There's a lot of activity for the astral dudes, and that means that those people are amassing a lot of strength. And okay, so I went back to the previous save and decided to conquer shards very quickly, which means I couldn't transport heroes between campaigns because you need a lot of astral energy to do that. So that means that the game expects you to wait 100 turns or more to get the 1,500 astral energy you need in order to transport a fucking hero. And I said, well, wait a minute, I'm only 2 shards in. 2 shards. The tutorial, which doesn't count. 1 shard, 2 shard. I said, okay, I've conquered 2 shards, and so why not just ignore that feature for a while, conquer a few more shards, have more astral energy generated per turn, like 20 or 30 even, before I consider transferring heroes. Because the amount of astral energy you get versus how much per turn out here on the astral plane versus how much you need to transfer your heroes and all their equipment and all their regiments or whatever is astronomical. Heh, astral plane, astronomical, haha. But you don't get that much per turn. So apparently the amount of shards you conquer determine how many NPCs you get floating around. Belith and Orner. How many shards you conquer determine them. How many turns you wait determine how much you have in energy to transport dudes. But there's apparently some scripted events after a certain number of turns waited that make it to where it's punishing you for waiting. But the game seems punishing enough because the last shard that I conquered, just before the screen that you see right now, the last shard that I conquered, I was fighting this little fucker right here, Belith. And Belith, like, it took me 7 tries before I realized I had to B-rush the whole fucking tiny province because he was contesting it. I had to B-rush it. And I couldn't explore provinces in their entirety. I couldn't get more experience for my troops or heroes. I had to just conquer about 9 provinces and then beeline his capital and take it over. And that makes me sad because it means that you are both on two sets of timers, you know? Uh, if you continuously conquer shards without accumulating astral energy, you will get, apparently, according to what I'm witnessing, more and more NPCs to join your fray. If you wait more and more times, there might not be as many NPCs to join your fray, but there may be consequences as far as events, as far as you missing out on astral events because you've waited too long and now you're weak, and that every shard you want to conquer now is going to take a lot more time and effort because all of the astral entities that you're encountering are now going to be stronger because you waited too long. You waited 70 to 100 turns just to amass enough astral energy to transport one fucking hero between maps. If you ask me, your heroes between maps should be saved, and it should only take astral energy to transport them to your next shard, not to transport them from your shard. If you don't know what that means, fuck you. You need to realize that should be a better system. You should have a repertoire of heroes that import, because the whole idea of importing shards is that they join your shard. Like, look at my shard right here. Netris, that's you. I mean, every shard that I conquer is supposed to assimilate into my shard, right? Yes, good. Which means all the heroes that I've assimilated should be there. You know? Think about it. Now, I get they shouldn't go towards your next shard conquest, because from this shard to the next shard, you have to use astral energy to project your influence into that shard. See? That's how it should work. But no, you have to project astral energy to pull them from, even though now you're assimilating that shard that you just conquered. So fuck that system. Like, that system is bullshit. All you fuckers who defend it, fuck you. It makes no goddamn sense. So now I've conquered 4 shards, 4 or 5, I think, and I have 2 NPCs. So I can't wait out turns any longer to get enough astral energy to transport heroes between one shard and the next, because now I have these little fuckers over here who are contesting for my shards. So I have to continuously conquer shards with no heroes and hire new ones every time. So the whole transporting your heroes from one shard to another is completely fucking pointless in this game. Okay. Having ranted for an ungodly amount of time, and realizing this is a 4X game, how does it stand up to other 4X games, other than the rant of astral energy? This game is entirely slow. In fact, it is very slow. If I say wait turn right now, end turn right there, that is a turn on the astral plane, this plane. However, if I click on this shard, Liscon or Telgor, which give you differences, you get these things or you get these things. If you click on that, I want to share with you that you get those abilities to build in your next shard conquest after assimilating the shard into your collective. Fine. Absolutely fine. But only one turn passes if you conquer a shard, no matter how many turns you spend in that shard. That means on the overworld, time passes differently than inside each shard. It means that this 4X game progresses a lot slower. In fact, it progresses an ungodly amount of time slower. A lot of people who might play this game would think, it's fine. And I see where you're coming from, but if I play a game like Masters of Orion or Civilization 4 or 5, I would expect turns to pass. You know, in a semi-fast fashion. And this game has 2 versions of time passing. And I'm not exactly sure how to deal with the time passing. Which bothers me in a strong way. This is a 4X game that progresses both very slow and very fast depending on how you look at it. And the way I look at it is it progresses extremely slow. And if you don't do auto-resolve in your combats, your game's going to last even longer. You know? And I find myself hitting auto-resolve over and over again rather than manually attack because I just can't be fucking bothered to fill it out. And the auto-resolve seems to be in your favor. For instance, if I have 6 barbarians versus 3 slingers, 1 archer, and 2 melee units, if I click auto-resolve, I won't lose a single berserker. But if I fight, the ranged units will at least kill 1 or 2 of them. So the auto-resolve seems to have a more fair balance when it comes to judging strengths versus weaknesses. You know, and if I lose too many units, that's a thing, and I can just save, you know, then reload if I want to. But overall, auto-resolve seems to be the better option because not only does it make your combats faster to spend less real time wasting away in combat, but it also seems to be more fair in outcome. Do I hate the game? No. No, actually, I like the game. And I've watched some YouTube playthroughs of some of it, and I realized that the story actually has a depth to it, that you realize there's a lot into the game, but if you're like most people, you'll realize that after 3 or 4 shard conquers, nothing's happening and you'll want to rush it. Even a veteran 4X game player like myself wants to rush this game. And I'm sorry that I'm just ranting on while you're watching this screen, but there's really nothing to show. I think the game is good, but I also think the game is lacking. And this is not a game for the hardcore player. And what I mean by that is, this isn't a game that you want to spend 8 hours in a session playing. You want to spend the amount of time it takes to conquer a shard, and then you want to stop playing. You want to stop playing for a day. I have, how many hours in this game? I have 20 hours now in this game, as recorded on GOG. And I know I haven't scratched the surface as far as storyline is concerned, but I know I've invested more time than a person might be able to in a week playing. So if this game expects you to play for 6 months before you get a gigantic story arc, I'm sorry, this game is not for you. No, I'm sorry, this game is for you. As in, this game is not for a player like myself. Will I continue to play it? Yes, I want to actually unfold the lore of this game. But I can't play this game for you to play, considering that I only have enough time for a video a week. And I need to move on to a different game now. That's how my channel's working. So, Eador is actually a fairly good game. My final analysis is that you should look into it. But be prepared to spend 300 hours before you beat the fucking thing. And that's me giving an estimate based on how much time I've played versus how much stuff I've uncovered. I have read reviews on this game saying that, yeah, you'll find out the story, you might find out some ancient machine, you'll get a cog, you'll get a gear, etc., etc. You'll find out what the purpose is of all this stuff. Oh, look, now there are 3 shards. There's now Telagor, which will give me this, which I actually want to conquer. There's now this, plus 4 mana per turn, which is really good. Plus 1 mana per turn. the 4 mana per turn actually sounds really good. I actually wanted this because it gives me gold reserve plus 18 per turn, and it gives me Temple of Life. But now this one seems really fucking good. Plus 4 mana per turn, and I get a workshop, Town Council, Sphere of Stone, Temple of Immortals, and Mercenaries Guild. Holy shit! Oh, sorry. I want the music to play. So yeah, I want that. Okay, if you're interested in this game, and you love 4X, don't expect to beat this game in 30 hours. Expect to beat this game in 300 hours. And have another game lined up to break the monotony, okay? So, retrospective, final thoughts, etc., etc. on this game is, do I hate it? No, no. Do I like it? Yes. Do I think it's incredibly flawed? Absolutely. And I think that... Oh, look, now I can't see the third island anymore. Oh, there it is. No, that's not me. I can't see it anymore. It floated off somewhere. So, oh, look, you can actually span it out. Oh, there it is. There it is. Like, you scroll up, and then there it is. There it is. All 3 of them. Okay, good. Fine. I have no idea how many NPCs will join the fray. I have no idea how hard it is, because I actually had to fight this fucker twice, and this fucker once so far, and it's becoming increasingly harder to conquer shards, even though I've only suffered through about 4 to 6 turns here in the astral plane, okay? Which you think is the appropriate amount of time to pass, but nope. It seems that conquering shards progresses things a lot faster. So anyway, I'm frustrated with the game. I can't continue it for my YouTube channel, but I really think that you should look into it if you love 4X drawn out games, okay? Okay, so there you go. That's all I have to say. I will poke at this game off and on indefinitely until I beat it, because I really want to discover the game. But I need to find a new game for next week, okay? I'm very sorry that all this was me talking with the astral overview and no real gameplay. But I really need to move on. If you don't like this, tell me in the comments. You know, and I'll improve my video next video. Okay, my thematical presentation next video. Anyway, stand by next week for a new game. Thanks for watching.